Hi and welcome to day one, official day one of the 5-day healthy habit kickstart. I really have to think about, sorry, my phone is like going mental. I need to put it on do not disturb. Well, my watch is going mental because my phone's going mental. I really have to think about that when I say it. Need to find a shorter name, don't I? Anyway, day one. If you haven't yet watched or listened to the welcome podcast / video, please go and do that. Make sure that you've introduced yourself in the WhatsApp group. Tell us what your goals are, and of course don't forget to reach out in the group with any questions. Now, I ask you to reach out in the group because this is a group coaching 5-day kickstart. If you do have something that is a little bit personal, do feel free to reach out to me individually. And then what I may do is I may answer that question without letting anyone know who you are in the group. So today we are going to be talking about mindset, because this is one of the most underrated aspects of your health, fitness and weight loss journey. I would bet that most of you think you need a new workout program or a meal plan or recipes, and in fact on some of your forms I read I need a plan to be able to stick to. I need I need a structure. I need someone to tell me what to do. And actually what I want to say is that most people roughly know what to do to lose weight, to get healthier, to get fitter. They just don't do it consistently enough to see the results. And the reason is because there are mindset blocks that get in their way. Now, I yo-yo dieted for years and years, 15 years, my whole adult life. I put myself to the bottom of the to-do list daily, and I know that's some of you as well because I've read that in your forms. And when I finally started to understand that my own mindset was the thing that was stopping me from getting the results I wanted, I was able to change that mindset, and that was when I started to see results, to be consistent, and everything about my life changed. But we're not here to talk about me. I talk about my story in lots of my podcasts, so if you're interested in knowing more, just let me know and I'll tell you what one to listen to. But I want to talk to you about 3 main mindset blocks today. Now, listen, I could talk about this for hours because there aren't just 3, but these are the 3 that come up most often, and they came up most often in your forms that I want to talk about with you today. Okay, number 1 is motivation. Number 2 is all or nothing or perfectionism, and number 3 is believing your own BS. Okay, so we're going to talk about those 3 things, and I'm going to give you some shifts and some reframes to think about. And of course at the end of today's video I'm going to talk to you about today's task and your daily habits. So let's start with motivation then. So many of you said when you filled in your form for me that you lacked motivation and you were looking for this 5-day kickstart to give you the motivation to make some changes and to take some action. And I need to tell you something. Motivation is a myth. It's a limited resource. It's as unreliable as the summer that we have been waiting for. Okay, you think you need it because you think that actually motivation comes before action, which then leads to results. In fact, it's action that comes first, which then leads to results, which won't be visible at first. But example, you might take the action to go for a walk or do a workout and feel great at the end of it. Okay, you're not going to see immediate results in your fat loss, but it will make you feel good, and that leads to you being more motivated to take more action. So the thing you need to understand about motivation is that you absolutely need to let it go. Let the idea of motivation go completely. okay? It just, forget it even exists. Let me tell you another secret. I'm not motivated all the time. Sometimes I don't want to go to the gym. Sometimes I want to order a takeaway. Sometimes I don't want to go out for a walk with the dog to get my steps in because the rain has been relentless. And sometimes all I want to do is lay on the sofa under a blanket. But here's what I consider before I tell myself or give myself an excuse. What will tomorrow's me thank me for? What will next week's me thank me for? Next month, next year's me thank me for? Because that's what we're talking about here. Making decisions and taking actions and showing up for your future self. Because let's be really clear, eating one healthy balanced meal today is not going to make a huge amount of difference to how you look, your body fat percentage, and how you feel tomorrow. But because you are the average of all of your actions, cumulatively, making choices that are really balanced and healthy is going to add up and make you feel, look, act differently in a month's time, 6 months' time, a year's time. Okay? We're not talking about instant gratification. Okay, I could give you the example of exercise gives you endorphins, and so that is quite a bit of instant gratification. But, you know, so your workout or your walk will feel good. Your prepped breakfast that you might make tonight so that you don't have to do it in the morning when you're tired will save you the time tomorrow and mean you won't just, you know, give in and, you know, grab a Costa and a croissant. But will you see instant results? No. You might feel them. You'll feel proud of yourself, but you're not going to see instant results. Let me tell you something else. The clients that get the best results with me are the clients that feel unmotivated and do it anyway. They take the tough action anyway. They're the ones that get the best results. I don't want to cook this dinner. I just want to order Chinese. They do it anyway. I don't want to do this workout. They do it anyway. I don't want to prep my breakfast for tomorrow. I do it anyway. That's what we need to do. We need to forget about motivation. Motivation is not going to come and bite you on the bum. It's unreliable. It's a myth. Actually, what you need is to take action. If you take action, you will start to see and feel results. That will give you the motivation to carry on. Okay, that's what helps me to carry on the days I don't want to. That's what helps my clients to carry on the days that don't want to, because they know that the cumulative actions are the things that are going to make a huge difference. So that's number one, motivation. So I need you to let go of it. I need you to do an Elsa and let it go. Okay, it needs to be off your radar. Stop waiting for motivation, because you're going to be waiting a really long time. Instead, take action. And I know you can all take action because you're here. Okay, so second mindset thing that I want to talk about, the second mindset blocker is the all or nothing or black and white mentality. So if you often feel like you're on the diet or off the diet, on the wagon, on the track, being good or you've been bad, this is exactly what I mean by all or nothing thinking. And it is tripping you up and tripping you over and stopping you from getting the results that you want to get. Because you think that by having one chocolate bar or one glass of wine or one meal out or one takeaway or missing one workout or not getting your steps in that day means you've ruined it, and you feel massive amounts of guilt. So what this might look like is being too strict with yourself, aiming to be 100% perfect 100% of the time, and then that one bad day or one bad meal or one unplanned chocolate bar, and you think that's it. oh my God, I've ruined it. I've ruined the last week's worth of work. Let me tell you something else. There's no such thing as perfect. And in the work I do with my clients, I really try to get them to not use or think about perfection. We don't use the words good or bad food. We don't use I'm being good. We don't use, we don't go for perfection. Oh, can you sing? Can you hear next door singing happy birthday to the little 1-year-old? Oh, cute. You probably can't hear that. So in trying to achieve this perfection, you actually then forget to have fun. You forget to enjoy yourself. Okay, let me tell you about my weekend. I'm currently in a fat loss journey, and I was training for a half marathon, gained a bit of body fat, and now I'm working to lose that. And I have had the most social 4 days ever. So on Thursday I went to a wedding. On Friday I went out for a curry with my friends. All day Saturday I was at the theatre and went out for dinner and had a couple of drinks with my husband. Today I've been at a food festival and I'm going out for dinner in about 10 minutes. If I was thinking black and white, if I was thinking in a perfectionist mindset, I would have thought, oh well, that's it. I may as well just get June's a write-off then, isn't it? I've had 4 days of socialising. Let me tell you, that thinking is not going to help the situation. So actually, I've really enjoyed the last 4 days and I've made some compromises, but I haven't sacrificed my social life and my fun. And a couple of things didn't go to plan. On Thursday night after the wedding, I didn't get very much sleep. And I was really tired Friday, and that really affected my hunger. And also at the hotel breakfast, there wasn't very much protein options for me. So I could have gone, oh, well, sod it, I may as well just carry on and just eat and drink my way through the rest of my social plans this weekend. I didn't. Okay, that's happened. Move on. Just make the next decision count, and that's what I did. So stop thinking that when one thing goes wrong you're falling off track, because then what happens is you completely lose it even. You completely lose it. And this is what I see with my clients often until they really grasp this concept, where they think that they've got 1 day over their calories or one takeaway and they've ruined it, rather than just draw a line under it and they move on. And we work on helping them to see that they haven't ruined anything and they don't sit on the F it button for a week or even 2. Because that's the thing, it's never the one day, it's never the one meal, the one social occasion that ruins your progress. It's your reaction and your actions to that one thing. It's that start again on Monday mentality that keeps tripping you up. And what I work on with my clients is achieving that consistency over perfection. But in order to do that, just like motivation, we need to forget about perfection and we need to work out what consistency looks like for each of my clients. And that also comes with ensuring that they take the actions to achieve their goals while still enjoying their life and not seeing one meal out, one weekend away, or even a couple of days like I've just had as something that ruins things. And I want to give you the example of my client Katie, okay? When she came to me nearly a year ago, in fact it was a year ago, she was constantly starting again Monday because maybe she'd eaten some chocolate or she'd have had a takeaway. So then she felt guilty, and that guilt drove her to eat more of whatever it was, or go in hard on even more chocolate, and then she'd start again Monday. And over the last year, working with me in the Last Diet Club, she has really worked on that consistency and that all or nothing mindset. So she knows now that she can have a glass of wine and that doesn't mean she's ruined anything. She has a takeaway most weeks, or at least 8. She's really social. She has a takeaway most weeks, or at least one meal out most weeks. And she knows that that isn't about ruining her diet. Think about it like this, right? If you have a cream carpet, or you had a cream carpet and you knocked over a glass of red wine, would you then pick up the bottle of red wine and pour the rest of the red wine all over that cream carpet? Because effectively, that's what all or nothing thinking does. It takes the rest of that bottle of wine and it pours it all over the carpet. Another analogy to explain this is the pop tyre scenario. If you got a puncture on your tyre, would you then get out and puncture the other 3 on your car? No, of course you wouldn't. So why would you let one meal, one day, one weekend make you think you ruined the whole progress that you've been making? And this is one of the reasons why I do not advocate that my clients ban things. Okay, I regularly work with them on finding a way to have one indulgence per day. So like with Katie, we plan in her one indulgence per day. Now, the only thing I don't recommend you do that with is alcohol, because it is not healthy to drink alcohol every day. But long term, if you want long-term success, you need to learn balance, you need to learn moderation and consistency. And that consistency does not mean perfection. It does not mean that you have to be 100% all of the time. Okay? So the third mindset blocker we're going to talk about is believing your own BS, aka your self-belief. So we all tell ourselves stories or BS. I'm not a morning person. I have no willpower. I can't stop at one biscuit. I don't have fun on a night out without a drink. Diets don't work for me. I'm too busy. I'm too tired. But here's the problem. You tell yourself these stories so often, then you create evidence to back yourself up and prove yourself right, because our brains don't like being wrong. So because you don't have the evidence to the contrary, you don't have the evidence that diets don't work, that diets work for you, because actually you've not tried anything that fits in with your life. And I'm going to talk about that on another day. You don't prove to yourself you're a morning person because you snooze your alarm for an hour. You tell yourself you have no willpower, so when someone puts a plate of biscuits in front of you, you eat them all, and you give yourself the evidence that you have no willpower. And because the brain doesn't like to be wrong, then it's always going to prove itself right. So you don't believe that you can achieve or be these things that you so desperately want to be or achieve. One of my examples is I turned 44 this year, and at the beginning of the year, I don't make New Year's resolutions, but one thing I promised myself was that I was going to stop referring to my age negatively. And I have managed it on all but 2 occasions so far this year. And I have to tell you that I have never felt so positive about my age, my experience and growing older as since I stopped referring to my age negatively, because I stopped blaming things on my age. I stopped telling myself I was too old to do stuff. Okay, so another thing to share with you, these things don't come true unless you make them true. If I tell myself I'm too old to do something, then I'm going to be too old to do it. If you tell yourself you're not a morning person, you will snooze for an hour. You'll prove yourself right. If you tell yourself that menopause is the reason you can't achieve the results that you want to achieve, then you won't achieve them. If you tell yourself that you can't go on a night out without having a drink and because you won't have fun, then guess what? You'll prove yourself right. And you'll only build up this self-belief and this evidence and self-confidence if you go back to the first point I talked about, and that's forgetting motivation and taking action. And I know you can take action because you've signed up to this. So prove yourself wrong. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier for tomorrow and get up and plan your day. I bet you can do it if you stop telling yourself you can't. Allow yourself one indulgence per day rather than 5 biscuits and 2 chocolate bars. Prove yourself wrong. You have to believe in yourself in order to change the way that you show up for yourself each day. You can't go through this journey with doubt, because I'm not going to lie, sometimes changing your life is hard work and sometimes it's boring. Sometimes you won't want to do the things, and if you keep giving yourself a reason to let yourself off, then you won't be able to do it. You have to believe in the future you. You have to believe that you can make the changes, that you have the power. Don't be the victim. Don't blame your circumstances and give up. Let me give you an example. My client Jamie has 3 children. 2 of them are really sporty boys. She has a really full-on toddler, a full-on job. She has some health issues. She also has been diagnosed with ADHD. And at the start of her journey, she told herself constantly, I don't think I can change. I don't think I ever can. And we've slowly worked on her self-belief and built up the evidence that she can, and found ways to work around the barriers of time, of ADHD, of, having a really busy life, of being able to stick to her plans. And she's making progress. So to recap, motivation is a myth. Take action, show up for yourself. Number 2, don't be all or nothing. It's all about consistency over perfection. And number 3, don't believe your own BS. Prove yourself wrong. Okay? So today's task is to read the nutrition guide I am going to share with you, to try and tick off as many of your 5 habits, not perfectly, as you can. And remember to share a daily win in the WhatsApp group. And if you have any questions, any concerns, you need any help, please reach out in the WhatsApp group. Well done, and I'll speak to you later.